Ruth's reply, a dawn-day Bible testimony. Another teaching from Yah's covenant calendar, dated around 1320 BC, 130 years after Moses died. Introduction to Ruth. The story of Ruth occurs about 130 years after Moses died. By this point in time, there was already a lot of apostasy in the land of Israel. Remember, only a few short years after Joshua died, about 44 years after Moses, apostasy set in. Israel turned their worship to the gods Baal sun god and Ashtaroth moon gods, known as the no gods, listed in Judges 2:11-13. This scriptural testimony easily demonstrates both Naomi and Ruth were still honoring their true Elohim, as well as his appointed day start commencement at dawn. Who was Ruth? Well, Ruth became the wife of Boaz, and then the mother of Obed, and the great-grandmother of King David, who also honored Yahuah's blood-ratified covenant festal calendar. Question: did Ruth honor the dawn day because she was going to be part of the lineage of her Messiah? No. She followed what Naomi taught her because her desire was to follow Naomi's Elohim and be a part of his people. Following Yahuah also includes following all of his instructions, whether we are a simple servant or in the lineage of kings. Ruth, your people shall be my people. If Ruth is going to follow Naomi's Elohim, will it be in every detail or just some things? Ruth Chapter 2, 1-4. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth, of the family of Amalek, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, let me now go into the field and glean ears of corn after him, in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said unto her, go, my daughter. And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And her hap was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was of the kindred of Amalek. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said unto the reapers, Yahuah be with you. And they answered him, Yahuah bless thee. Verses 5-8. Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, whose damsel was this? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, it is the Moabitess damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came and hath continued even from the morning until now, and she tarried a little in the house. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens. Let thine eyes be on the field, that they do reap, and go after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee? And when thou art athirst, go unto the vessels, and drink of that which the young men have drawn. So she fell on her face, and bowed herself to the ground, and said unto him, why have I found grace in thy eyes? Thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger. And Boaz answered and said unto her, it hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thy husband, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother and the land of thy nativity, and art come unto a people which thou knowest not heretofore. Verses 12-14. May Yahuah recompense thy work, and the full reward be given thee unto Yahuah, your Elohim of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust. Then she said, let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord, for thou hast comforted me, and for thou hast spoken friendly unto thy handmaid, though I be not like unto one of thy handmaidens. And Boaz said unto her, at mealtime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed and left. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not. And let fall also some of the handfuls of purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not. So she gleaned in the field until even, and beat out that she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she took it up and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and she brought forth and gave to her that she had reserved after she was sufficed. And her mother-in-law said unto her, Where hast thou gleaned today? And where wroughtest thou? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of thee. And she showed her mother-in-law with whom she had wrought, and said, The man's name with whom I wrought today is Boaz. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of Yahuah, who hath not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, The man is near of kin unto us, one of our next kinsmen. Verses 21 through 23. And Ruth the Moabitess said, He said unto me also, Thou shalt keep fast for my young men until they have ended all my harvest. And Naomi said unto Ruth her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that they meet thee not in any other field. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to clean unto the end of the barley harvest and of the wheat harvest, and dwelt with her mother-in-law. Where hast thou gleaned today? Will the record of Ruth gleaning barley indicate a sunset start of the new cycle? Or will the full record of Ruth gleaning barley indicate a single 24-hour period, therefore eliminating the possibilities of supporting sunset theory in this epic of Ruth? Do the definitions of the Hebrew word yom for day permit a length of time that includes 2 cycles or 2 days? Boaz meets Ruth. Ruth seeks permission from Naomi to glean grain behind the reapers. Ruth was divinely led to glean in the field of Boaz. Boaz questions the servant who the new maiden is in his field. Boaz is informed the new maiden is the daughter-in-law of Naomi. Ruth's request was, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. 8 through 13, Boaz offers Ruth protection. Boaz receives special favor for Ruth. She can glean anywhere as much as she wants.
It's Ruth 2, verse 14, where Boaz invites Ruth to eat. And just a summary, the record shows that Boaz invited her to join at mealtime in the supplies of food for the workers. The exact time of mealtime is not stated in the scriptures. However, more importantly, it is written that after Ruth had finished, she once again returned to her gleaning. Ruth was there for the purpose of working. She was not afraid of manual labor. She was giving her all. And Ruth had started working early in the morning. That is Boker, the very first light of the day. Boaz, in his kindness, he commanded the workers to purposely leave behind more than the normal amount of grain for Ruth to recover. And I'd like you to note very carefully that Ruth was gleaning after mealtime, which must have been the high noon time of eating.
Provisions for Ruth. Verse 17, she gleaned in the field until even and beat out all that she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. Even, strong 6153 Arab from 6150 dusk. 6150 Arab is a primitive root identical with 6148 through the idea of covering with a texture to grow dusky at sundown and mixing of light and darkness. In verse 18, she took it up and went into the city after she was sufficed. Timing of Ruth's labors. Ruth gleaned approximately till the sunset time of day. Ruth then processed, separated, and cleaned the gleanings, gathered the fruit of her labors, then journeyed to the city, her destination being the home of Naomi. The twilight time, Neshef, offers safety with soft light of dusk as Ruth returned to the city with a heavy load of grain. Twilight in the Strong's 5399, Neshef from 5398 is properly a breeze, i.e. by implication dusk, when the evening breeze prevails. Provisions for Naomi. And she took it up and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and she brought forth, and she gave to her that she had reserved after she was sufficed. But the NIV reads, Ruth also brought out and gave her what she had left over after she had eaten enough. The lateness of the hour. The time is now late. From even, Ruth walked home into the city. Then she took care of her hunger after a long day's work. After Ruth was satisfied her physical hunger, she then brought forth the fruit of her labors, the grain gleanings, to share with her mother-in-law. This would well be into the night season. Naomi's question in verse 19a, and her mother-in-law said unto her, Where hast thou gleaned today? And where wroughtest thou? Blessed be he that take knowledge of thee. 19b, and she showed her mother-in-law with whom she had wrought, and she said, The man's name with whom I wrought today is Boaz. Today is Strong's 31:17, Yom. It is only one 24-hour period. Naomi, speaking during the night season, refers to the previous day or the light season's work as today. Naomi is not referring to yesterday or the Hebrew word tamal. Ruth's answer to Naomi also refers to her work of today as during the light season, not the light season of yesterday. Let's place these events on two different charts. Okay, this is chart 1 of 2. It is a sunset to sunset theory chart. Notice in the new brackets, this is day 1 on a sunset to sunset 24-hour cycle pattern. Starts at sunset, ends at sunset. And then it's the second day that begins at sunset. And we're going to chart Ruth's events to see how this might work out on the sunset theory. It's recorded in verse 7 that Ruth gleans in the early morning, Boker. Verses 9 through 12, Boaz positively affirms Ruth's position to glean in his field and offers her fresh water. 14 through 16, Boaz invites Ruth for food. She eats and goes back to work. Boaz commands the men to leave extra grain for her. 17 through 18, Ruth gleans until even. See the arrow up there, we're now in day 2. I want y'all to take note of that. Ruth gleans until even, then beats out the gleanings, then walks back to Naomi's home in the city. Verse 18, Ruth eats first, then brings the grain to share with Naomi. Now we're well into the night season. In verse 19, Naomi asks Ruth, Where hast thou gleaned today? Take note, this night season is not part of the same cycle where Ruth was gleaning. The night falls on day 2, or the tomorrow, according to sunset theory. Huge error. No, sunset changed the day and the date.
So is the Hebrew correct in Ruth 2:19 or not? So we have some questions here. What happened with the sunset while Ruth was gleaning? Did sunset not instigate a new cycle on this particular occasion, as many claim with that sunset theory? According to the understanding of sunset theory, both Ruth and Naomi would have needed to use the Hebrew word tomol, or yesterday. Naomi should have said, Where did you glean yesterday? But she didn't, she used today. If the series of events uses portions of 2 days, not just 1 day. And from Strong's definition, the word yesterday can be defined like this: definitely yesterday, or properly ago, like a short time ago or a long time ago, especially yesterday. So you can see we've got definitely yesterday and especially yesterday. So you should be able to understand that, or the day before yesterday. So what we want to do now is look and see if we chart this on a dawn day chart, will everything stay within one 24-hour cycle, one dawn to dawn?
Okay, chart 2 and 2. This is the dawn format day start. The day starts at dawn and it ends at dawn. In this blue bracket section here, this is day 1 on a dawn to dawn 24-hour cycle. Then we have day over 2 that over here that begins at dawn. Okay, we'll chart Ruth's events on this one. Okay, it's recorded in verse 7 that Ruth gleans in the early morning, Boker. Verses 9 through 12, Boaz positively affirms Ruth's position to glean in the field and offers her fresh water. Verses 14 through 16, Boaz invites Ruth for food. She eats and goes back to work. Boaz commands the men to leave extra grain for her. Note this is the high noon part of the day. Okay, verses 17 through 18. Ruth gleans until even and then beats out the gleanings and walks back to Naomi's home in the city. And we all missed that gray arrow there, but notice it's pointing almost to the night season, but we are still in day 1. Verse 18. Ruth eats first, then brings the grain to share with Naomi. In verse 19, we are now in the night season, but still in day 1. Where hast thou gleaned today? Naomi asked. Now, today in the blue bracket includes the night season in the same cycle as Naomi's question, without any error. Sunset did not change the date. All events have a perfect forward progressive movement within one 24-hour cycle. Ruth 2:19, Ruth's reply. In accordance with the Yahuah's day reckoning, Ruth's reply confidently confirms the status of her labor in verse 19. The man's name with whom I wrought today is Boaz. Today, in the blue bracket, dawn through until dawn, are one 24-hour cycle. From dawn into the night season, all events have a forward progressive movement. Naomi's question did not need to be proposed during the hours of the day season, before sunset, to be in accordance with Scripture. Naomi's question and Ruth's answers are included in the same 24-hour time frame. Summary for Ruth's reply. Exactly what is the significance of this interesting scenario? The infusion of any possible error, such as sunset date start, in the Scripture is effectively eliminated. Sunset theory is not supported in this historic story. Only dawn. Zion's new day order is rightfully recognized and fully supported by the set-apart Scriptures. Ruth and Naomi will guide you in your choice. The end. Questions and comments can be sent to questions@studythecalendar.com, www.studythecalendar.com. Thank you all very much.